Welcome to this special on-the-ground explainer. You know, when disaster strikes, and I mean completely without warning, it isn't always the trained professionals who make the first move. Honestly, it's often the person right across the street. Today, we're unpacking a raw, incredibly urgent eyewitness account from a massive, terrifying fire in Malviya Nagar. We're going to see exactly how ordinary citizens literally became immediate lifesavers.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to imagine the sheer, terrifying chaos of the moment. You're just standing outside, going about your normal, everyday life, and suddenly, the air is completely choked with thick black smoke. You hear these frantic, heartbreaking cries. The eyewitness we're drawing our information from recalls looking up and seeing residents completely trapped by the flames. The air was literally filled with people screaming, save us," right? It's a situation where absolute panic is the most natural response in the world, but as we're going to see, that panic was pushed aside for pure, unadulterated action.
Section 1. The Crisis and the Leap. Let's really set the scene of the stark reality that was unfolding right across the street.
To truly grasp the magnitude of this crisis, you've got to picture the scene exactly as it played out. A massive blaze erupts in a multi-story residential building. And these flames, they are aggressive. They're instantly cutting off all the standard exit routes, the stairwells, the hallways, all of it. Down below, helpless bystanders are just watching this nightmare escalate second by terrifying second. The scale here is absolutely staggering. According to eyewitnesses on the ground, between 50 to 60 people were trapped inside this burning structure as the fire raged totally out of control. Just think about that density for a second. We're talking about dozens of families, kids, elderly individuals suddenly caught in this suffocating trap where the heat is rising and the breathable air is just vanishing.
Now, what's really interesting here is the agonizing, split-second choice it illustrates. When your internal escape routes are completely blocked off, human instinct forces this terrifying calculation. You have dozens of people trapped in an escalating inferno, and their only alternative to the flames is absolutely desperate, literally leaping for survival from the windows of the second, third, and fourth floors. I mean, it's a choice absolutely no one should ever have to make. They were facing a drop that could easily be fatal onto the hard street right below.
Section 2. The Ingenious Rescue. This is where we shift our focus to the incredible quick thinking of the local citizens. When a disaster of this scale hits, a community can so easily become paralyzed by fear. But what happens next is just this extraordinary display of rapid, tactical thinking from ordinary people. They didn't just stand there and watch. They looked at the resources they had around them and basically improvised a lifeline. Directly opposite the burning building sits the Mansouri cotton shop. The owner is watching these terrified people up above, looks at his own storefront, and has this brilliant revelation. His inventory, which is full of quilts, bed sheets, and heavy cotton mattresses, could literally be the difference between life and death. He realizes his business holds the exact key to softening that deadly drop.
So the crucial point is exactly how flawlessly and quickly they mobilized this plan. The shopkeeper deployed this makeshift, three-step rescue operation on the fly. Step 1. They immediately empty the shop's heavy inventory right onto the hard concrete street below. Step 2. They strategically spread these thick mattresses directly beneath the windows where the trapped people are desperately congregating. And Step 3, which was probably the hardest part, they frantically signal the victims. They're waving their arms, shouting over the deafening roar of the fire, basically instructing them to take a massive leap of faith down onto that padding.
And the result of this quick thinking: Eight human beings took that terrifying plunge from the upper floors and actually survived. No way, right? But yes, this specific split-second mattress strategy directly saved 8 lives from what would have absolutely been fatal, devastating falls. It is just an incredible testament to the sheer power of immediate action.
Let's break down the life-saving logic behind this, because it's brilliant. What the shopkeeper and the locals created was a system of makeshift mattress cushioning. Now, as the shopkeeper himself noted, dropping from a third or fourth floor onto a mattress, it isn't exactly a perfect safety net. The sheer momentum means a person might still sustain a slight fracture, but it creates just enough of a landing pad to absorb that lethal impact. They were consciously trading potential minor fractures for saved lives. Honestly, it's physics applied in the most desperate, practical way possible.
Section 3. Community Heroes. Let's broaden the scope here from the shop owner to the wider community's immediate response.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer power of collective community action. This incredible story goes way beyond just one man and his shop's mattresses. It speaks to the fearless response of an entire neighborhood acting as a unified front against a deadly threat. You have the shop owner completely sacrificing his livelihood and goods without a second thought. His son, Arman Mansouri, jumps into the fray right alongside him. But wait, it doesn't stop there. 8 local boys from that very same market and village actually ran directly into the burning building to help those who couldn't jump. Together, this makeshift civilian rescue squad pulled 20 to 25 people out to safety, and thankfully the fire brigade arrived right on time, working seamlessly alongside the public to finally bring the blaze under control.
Section 4. Tragedy and local support.
As the heavy smoke began to clear and the immediate adrenaline of the rescue faded, the community was forced to face the grim, heartbreaking reality of what had occurred inside that building. Because tragically, not everyone was able to escape the inferno. In the incredibly sad aftermath, as the rescue workers and firefighters brought out the deceased, the depth of this community's compassion showed itself once again. The very same shopkeeper who had thrown his mattresses onto the street to save the living, he now stepped forward with whatever inventory he had left. He provided his remaining quilts, bed sheets, and cloth to respectfully cover the recovered bodies. It is a deeply poignant detail, a local business providing both a fighting chance at survival and dignity in the midst of profound loss.
Well, this brings us to the end of our explainer, but it really leaves us with a critical, undeniable question to reflect on. In a sudden life or death crisis, will your community stand together like the heroes of Malviya Nagar? You know, it's so easy to assume that someone else will act, or that the professionals will always arrive in time. But the quick thinking of a local shop owner, the bravery of local youth running into the smoke, and the resilience of ordinary neighbors, it all proved that survival often depends entirely on the people right next door. Take a moment to think about your own neighborhood, your own readiness, and what you would actually do if the unthinkable happened right across the street. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this